Welcome to another episode of Life in Recovery with yours truly, Recovery Red. This episode is going to be coming to you live from my dining room. It's not even my dining room, it's the dining room that I am currently a part of as a rental. I'm going to give you my story. I've recorded this episode probably 3 times before this, and ironically, I've had 3 separate people ask me my story recently. And I think it's just helped it become a little more of an easier subject to talk about. Obviously, repetition has helped that, and I'm further along in recovery. I'm getting ready to celebrate 10 months on the 5th. You guys are great. I love it. But what I have noticed is giving my story out. Who knows who can take what from it? If anybody is going to be in Northville, Michigan, this coming Wednesday, the 7th, from 4:30 to 6:30, I'm actually going to give my story live to some younger gentlemen, 5 actually to be exact, that they're part of a program that helps adolescents with addiction and other issues, but these 5 gentlemen, it is addiction. And I'm going to go talk to them. And I thought to myself, how can I go talk to these guys if I haven't even talked to you guys yet? So here I am. I'm going to post this shortly after recording it. It is Thursday night, 12:30 Eastern Time, February 2nd, 2024. So this is going to come to you quick. Whoever listens to this, it'll probably be the next day or beyond. But yeah, let's get right into it, huh? I was born in Columbia, Maryland. My dad was part of the Coast Guard, so we were by water often. From Maryland, moved to Seattle, Washington. From there, we went to California. My parents were separated, and it was every other weekend kind of deal. My dad, his backyard was the beach. Went down a hill with a skateboard and a surfboard in one hand, and when that skateboard stopped, it's because I hit sand. Loved it, miss it. I miss him, as he did pass away when I was 8 years old, shortly after my 8th birthday. He punched the last ticket, if you will. Anyways, that happened, and my mother is from a little town called Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's by Ann Arbor, for some people that may not know what Ypsilanti is. It is an actual name, yes. Some people say Yipsy, but that's not correct. It is Ypsilanti. Anyhow, we moved here. This is where she was, or here. I'm not there right now, but moved to Michigan. I am in Michigan right now. And that is where she was born and raised. So family was here in Michigan. And yeah, so we were here. I've been in Michigan since I was 8 years old, except for um, Tennessee, which we'll get to. I am a goofy ginger with freckles, and that's what I looked like as a kid. That's the way I see it, at least. And played a lot of sports growing up. Really big on sports. I wasn't necessarily a good kid, but I had a good upbringing. I did deal with I don't even want to say deal with. I did encounter a moody mother growing up, and looking back, that made things difficult. It was hard because you never knew what you were going to get sometimes, and I learned to lie about things because I thought it was going to save me from what could possibly happen. And fast forward, got married at 20, had a beautiful daughter at 22. Um, my daughter hasn't talked to me since her 12th birthday. Actually, I take that back. I have not had a good conversation with her since her 12th birthday. I've gotten text messages, and they were not good ones, not ones that her dad would want to get. Not about her, but about me. Regardless, moving forward, her mother and I got divorced. I was 26, 25, going on 26. Yeah, I was 25, going on 26. I played college ball, a little bit of an injury, and started to medicate. And in medicating, found some interesting painkillers called Roxycontin. Those interesting painkillers became a habit that I would drag all over the place, to put it bluntly. I had character defects prior to drugs. I didn't see them as character defects. I saw them as life, and I was just who I was. Arrogant, cocky son of a bitch. I once was called an intellectual bullshitter. I remember that, actually. Therapist by the name of Mike. Grew fond of that therapist, actually. Shot me straight every time. Never did do anything but shoot you straight. Intellectual bullshitter. I remember telling my ex-wife what he said, and I talked to her. I was in rehab. She just started laughing. Well, he knows you, doesn't he? I actually just met him. But she's right. He knew me. Been that way my whole life. I like to look at the silver lining of things in life. And I think, if anything, what I did get from my addiction is, eventually, I looked at myself. But we'll get to that in a minute. Squirrel. No, I came home with an addiction to pills. I tried my damnedest to stay on those pills too, and I don't mean that as a smartass. Didn't want to. I think we just got cut out. I didn't want to go to heroin, but I eventually did. Yay me! And led to other hard drugs. Got in trouble with the law quite a bit, actually. Made bad decisions. Got clean. Relapsed. After about almost a year clean, I relapsed. And then I got clean again. And had years under my belt, and relapsed. The thing about the last one was, I got years under my belt, relapsed, stopped going to probation, so then I got locked up for a county year. I remember that was my first county year, and I remember when the judge, I didn't even get the judge, my attorney told me they're offering you a year, and there was nothing I could do about it. So that was that. I did a year, got out, still had friends at that point. I remember that they were in the car with my mom when I got picked up at midnight. Best friend, his wife, or soon to be wife, or was she already? I think she actually already was the wife. Yeah. So she was the wife already. And his sister, they were in the back seat. That was actually a great moment in my life, knowing that I had support. Little did I know I would just fuck it all up. I would shit on every relationship in my life. So I eventually I was living a good life. I had it good, and then some things went wrong, and I had it bad, and I decided drugs were the answer. But when they got bad, it didn't relapse yet. They got bad just over some other stuff, and then I relapsed. And then I had another county year to do. I did that county year, came home to my daughter didn't want to speak to me. Yeah, daughter didn't want to speak to me, so I had to deal with that, and I didn't deal with it. I went back to drugs, and I'm not blaming my daughter. I would never do that. Absurd. I just didn't deal with things right. I didn't have good coping skills. At that point, I had been to rehab 2 times, and this time it was the heaviest relapse. Oh my goodness. You name it, I did it. For the most part, hard drugs. And got arrested, got clean, spent like 4 months in jail, got out, and within a month I was back to the drugs. So I just kept doing the same thing over and over. And I know people say insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Fun fact, that's not the definition of insanity. That is actually a quote that is associated with Albert Einstein. Insanity is actually the opposite of sanity, if I know the American English language decent. And sanity is of sound mind. And I just recently had a group, I'm a part of an outpatient program. I had a group where we talked about what is sound mind. And sound mind is equally emotional and physical. And like it has mental capacity and clarity to make rational decisions, understand consequences of one action, and manage one's affairs responsibly. I couldn't do any of that, so I was insane in the membrane. I dang it, there we go. The stuff that I really want to get to in my story, obviously, besides basketball, injury, self-medicating, unhealthy relationships. I think the only healthy relationship that was even healthy coming to me was my ex-wife. It's the only good relationship I actually really ever had for a long period of time. And Yeah, she got the good. She got me good too, because I remember when she texted me. One day you're gonna know that was the best thing you ever had. At the time, I was thinking, well, this girl and this girl don't think that, but Lord, was she right? Um, I was just, I was something else, man. Don't get me wrong, I know how to have a good time, but boy, am I toxic. Here I'm thinking I've had toxic relationships. Oh, no, it was me just being a toxic mofo, finding other toxic people because that's how that works, right? Um, so yeah, eventually had to realize, and it was this past time. I did 6 months in jail, went to rehab, ended up at a great program, Sacred Heart in Richmond, Michigan. Love that place. Forever in debt. I thrived there. I got the most information. It was the best program I've ever been a part of. The other times I went to rehab, that rehab is no longer even open, but it was just I mean, that thing was a corner liquor store compared. The original one I went to was a corner liquor store compared to the Costco I went to this past time. And I did 90 days in the first two times. Last time it was only 14. I had to apply for an extension. I did 21 days and I got way more structure. The people there were great. Um, got out of rehab, home for a few days, and found out about the program I am currently in, a Lighthouse program. And it's called Personalized Nursing Lighthouse, PNLH, in Plymouth, Michigan. This place is equally, if not better, amazing. Yep, I said that. Better, amazing. Uh, just like any place, there's people that work there that you just learn that you stay away from them. There's just not much they can offer you, and you naturally, you know, attach conversation to one or few people. I've genuinely had to work on my recovery. Uh, I was not a good human, and I feared that I haven't been a good human even before the drugs. And it's true. A lot of the things I grew up learning and being accustomed to, I was training for the overall jackass I was turning into. You know, you put enough training in, it becomes second nature. Well, Lord, oh Lord, I made it second nature. Uh, and I'm still fucked up, guys. Let's just go ahead and get that right out there. I am fucked up mentally. Not on drugs. Don't drink. I'm just a screwed up individual, man. And most of it was brought on by one's self. I'm sure you guys know what one's self is. So I had a problem with lying. Bad problem. It was just tacky. It wasn't even an art at that. It was just tacky. So you know how the way I got rid of that? First 6 months of my recovery was in jail. I had to confide in people I trusted and let them know, hey, I got a problem with lying. This is something I gotta tackle this first. There's no drugs here, so tackling this will be good. Took about 4 months of me calling myself out immediately, knowing that these guys knew I was going to be doing it. 'Cause I had to train myself not to lie. That's how bad it was, guys. That's how bad we pick up all these habits from in our addiction. Now, yeah, in my case, this one was I had a lying issue before drugs. Drugs made it worse. But I did have to train myself not to lie anymore. I mean, you could ask me if I was going to have a cup of milk, and I'd say, no, I'm going to go have some water, but I'm going to drink some milk. It was just crazy stuff. So, about 4 months in, I started to realize, all right, second nature just to say what the truth is. Great. What's next? Everything. So I started to work on just genuinely wanting to be a good person. Started journaling every morning. So I am on medicated assisted treatment, MAT program. I take Suboxone every day. In the jail, they had that program. That's how I started it. After taking, they would usually have me around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. After that, I'd come back. I would read a portion of the Bible, and then from that, I would journal every day. Every day, so much that it's actually still to this day something I do. I've read the Bible front to back, and I want to do it again. It's just I'm not at that point, but I still journal in my prayer journal every morning. I've added a second journal, um, gratitude journal, every night. Because no matter how bad the day may be, today, for instance, I didn't have a good day. It was a bad day. I had some stuff in my mind. I don't even know. I think it's dealt with. I don't know. Um, I don't know. But it was just a bad day. And then I had to work I worked this evening. Work was great. I've obviously started this podcast, and I've also, in the past month, started doing residential contracting. I've always had a niche for that. I'm just being blessed with great opportunity to do some great projects, and I'm seizing the day. Got that tattooed on my side. It might as well be something I do for once. I also do artwork, which has been a nice release. Um, but I still work every day. I got a whiteboard next to my bed. 6 things uh, that I see it every day. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. One of them is read Bible. So that probably, so 5 things. Prayer journal. Do a good deed. Give somebody a compliment. If possible, be better than the day before. And just for today, be the best version you can be of yourself today. I feel like I've done some good things in the past, 6 months, 4 months. But that's not for me to judge. The man upstairs got me. Met some amazing people, made some amazing relationships. I get my work from an app that is a local neighborhood app. I've met some amazing people that actually care to hear my story. One of them I actually meet for coffee every Wednesday, 12 o'clock. person comes to Lighthouse where I'm at, if I'm not driving. I had rental for a period of time. Oh, but you know what? I never drove. We never met that way. Oh no, I did one time. I did. I met for coffee one time, and that was when I first met the person, and that was to give her a quote for some work on her house. Um, her and a few other people I have weekly talks with. That give me a list of stuff they need done in their house, and I go that weekend or the following week, and I get that stuff done. Um, she has been a huge help for me, and I've had so many people that have followed my story, because I'm an open book. Followed my story, that the art that I told you about, I draw canvases for people. I don't charge them. I just was charging them for materials. Somebody reached out to me, and they've been paying for the materials, or at least getting me a gift card to pay for the materials. I try to help where I can. I'm not going to sit here and gloat about the things that I've helped people with, but I do try to help where I can, and that's being honest and genuine. This shit ain't easy, man. Even when you want it. I hear that term, fake it till you make it. I hate that term, but it works for people, so I'm not hating on it like that. I just personally hate it. If I'm faking it till I'm making it, doesn't that mean I'm faking it? I'm trying to do this the real deal. Holyfield. I'm in it to win it like Iserman without drinking 1500. I just want to be a good person. I don't even know if I've gotten to that point in my life. People say it that have only known this Jason. But I'm my own biggest critic, even if I do think my experiences in life, I've done some things. I remember my uncle one time found out he was diabetic, and he's got some things he deals with, some stents in his heart. And I remember when he found out all that was like a lot was happening, and he had to chill out. And he said, but I lived one hell of a life. And he did, man. He did. He does. Yeah, I think he's king in my eyes. He always will be. But miss him. When he said it, I thought, I've had some pretty. For my age at the time, I had some pretty crazy experiences. Just crazy life things that I've done. Things that people don't get an opportunity to do. Stupid things that people don't do, period. But I've had some great moments. I was just talking to somebody tonight, the lady that's actually asking me to talk to the 5 adolescent kids. She asked me, "Do you ever have anything that you regret?" And I told her this exact statement. People always say, "No regrets. Can't have no regrets. Got to let it all go." I'd be lying to say I don't have regrets. I've got regrets out the ass. You need to borrow some. I got some. But I'm going to need them back because they're regrets of mine. But I've got some. But I think that's what drives me to be the best version of myself. I don't want to live that way anymore. And when I say I don't want to live that way, I mean that I don't want to live on the streets like I did. I lived in the streets. When at 20, at the time, my wife and I bought a house that we built from the ground up. We had good vehicles in the driveway. We had good things happening. I was learning how to adult a little bit. I'm a late bloomer. My height wasn't late bloomer, but apparently I was, because I was the farthest thing from a man. So I try to be the best version. I don't know if I got my whole story out in this talk, but what I want to, from anybody's story, what I want people to know is what I was isn't what I am now. And it takes work. These things don't happen overnight. Our instant gratification kicks in from our addiction, but we can't have that. It can't be that way. We got to work hard at this. And it feels good to hear people tell me, they go out of their way to say, like, you're a good dude. And they mean it. And they've only known this person, though. So I still have a hard time accepting it because I've been around for the whole thing. Um, like I said, I have regrets. Uh, I've learned to put healthy boundaries up. I've learned to just try to be genuine in all I do. I'm still working on things. It's not like I've defeated this process and I win. Fuck no, this is a lifelong thing. Lifelong thing, my baby. But I'm happy in the direction. I'm thankful. I say my prayers every day. I make sure I give my thanks. I know without my higher power, none of this happens. There's the craziest things happen too. It makes me want to keep doing this too, like even more so than the fact that I want to. It just the things happen. I needed to find a miter saw. For those of you that don't know what a miter saw is, it's one of the saw blades that you pull it down and it chops and it pops back up. Usually people use it to cut trim or something like that. Needed to find a miter saw. You can get in anywhere from $200 on up. Used, maybe you can find one for $80, $60. I found a DeWalt one for $25. $25. And it was posted 15 minutes before I found it. Just a guy wanted to pay it forward to somebody. Put it out there for $25, get rid of it, didn't need it. He paid $50 for it, used it, bada boom, put a blade in it. That's a bad mofo. $25. You bet your ass I thank God for that because I didn't have that. Nah, he found that. And he said, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and post that? And I know it's crazy, but post it for $25. I got somebody that's going to get it. That kind of shit happens. And when those little nudges like that, they tend to grab my attention. I am happy to be alive. This process I went through has made me who I am. So I don't regret that. I can't. But I do have regret. People always ask, what is recovery? And people have answers. I heard somebody say that their recovery is 5 aspects. And it made sense, too, what they said. My apologies, I don't remember all of them, but I do know that spirituality is one. Mental health is one of them. Somewhere along the lines, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, something else. Stuff like that. For me, because I actually said out loud too, because the class topic, the check-in question, as we call it, was what? No, class topic was what is recovery to you? To me, for me, recovery is doing the next right thing. Not necessarily the next best thing, but the next right thing. If I'm doing the next right thing, that means I'm doing right, and that means I'm on the right direction, right directional path. I just spent so much time in my life being a bad person. I don't know that I'm gonna have enough time to be a good person, so I gotta try to do all the good I can. And to do that, I gotta do the next right thing. And I do feel like I'm doing that. I'm happy with who I am today, and I don't think I've ever been this happy with who I am in my life. And I am a firm believer that if you're going through addiction and you don't deal with anything, I think you're going to go back. I do. I think you're going to go back. I don't want anybody to go back. I'm just being blunt about it because I think you will. Um, sorry, I see a cupcake. I'm going to grab it. Be right back. Yeah. So, don't mind me. Yeah. I'm just going to spend my time trying to be a good person. Spend my time trying to give it back. I think I'm going to stay in this field. It's looking that way. And yeah. I thankful to be alive. I've overdosed. Easily, I've overdosed 5, 6 times. And that unfortunately didn't always open up my eyes the way it should have. Shouldn't be here. And I think I'm here for a reason. So I just keep trying to do the next right thing and it's all going to show itself. I'm starting to learn a lot of things lately. I think that is helping me understand what I'm here for. Um, I've been given a gift of being able to talk to people and go figure people actually like the person they're talking to. So can't wait till they meet me. No, I'm kidding. I am just trying to do the next right thing. And if I continue to do that and go to my meetings and be the same person, tell the truth, and just do continued maintenance, I think that I'm going to do just fine. But I want to do better than fine. So that's why I try to just be the best version of myself each day. Days aren't always going to be perfect, but the answer isn't drugs. It's just prayer, get some sleep, figure it out. I still make mistakes, like I said. I'm just going to post this one. I'm not going to go through and edit it. Don't feel like it. Raw. No, I just wanted to get out what I go through. You know, if there's something I can talk to somebody about, I do. Um, I'm going to do another episode tomorrow night on a regular topic, not just my story. And anybody that listens to this, if you think if you think I'm leaving something out, and you've been a part of my story, by all means tell me. But if there's questions you have and you don't know me, but there's questions out there, you know, as anybody knows that's sent me messages, I answer them. I've talked to, I don't want to say the name wrong, Antiguo. If you're out there listening, Antigua, yeah, I think I'm saying it right. Antigua, if you're out there and you're listening, listen, buddy, if you got a question from over there in your little Brazilian neighborhood, that's so cool. Like I told you on the phone, uh, you send me that message, by God, I will answer with a new podcast, or at least in the next podcast, I'll put it in there. Recovery takes work. If you're in active addiction, know that people love you and we're waiting for you on this side. And grass may not be greener, but there's food, there's people hanging out. It's a good time. I can't stress enough that you need to figure out the defects of your character. What's causing you to go back to the drugs? Yeah, we know. You like your alcohol, you like your drugs. That part is a given. But the defects that allow you to do so, or that put you down the path towards doing so, that's what you got to pay attention to. That's what you got to look at. That's what you got to try to administer help towards, or get administered help towards. I still ask questions. I made a call to somebody that I thought I could bend their ear on the other day, and they had great advice, and I listened to it too. His name was Jeffrey, same name as my uncle. So, and he's a good dude. He's gonna be graduating the program soon. I'm gonna be sad to see him go. He's a good dude. Everybody thinks he's bitter. No, he's not bitter. He's honest and he's focused. And those are two huge qualities in recovery. The honest and focused ones, those are the ones I'm going to latch on to. If you're in recovery or you're in rehab and you see all these people that are saying the right things and they know all the lingos and all these things that they keep, they're doing everything right and they're vocal and they're very vocal, almost too vocal. Those people scare me because how the mighty have fallen. I was one of those guys, and I didn't really like sit there and like say, "Oh, it'll keep coming back," all that stuff. But I mean, yeah, I fell. I fell hard too, man. Shit hurt. Um, there's a lot of shit I got to deal with, and I shouldn't have to, but I do because I put myself through hell, man. And these kids, when I talk to them coming up on Wednesday, God, just help me get through at least one of them. And just knowing, just knowing to help one of them. I don't even have to know it. Just having faith in the fact that you're going to let me get through to one of them would be great. And thanks for tuning in my podcast too, God. I appreciate you there too, man. Thanks for giving me this podcast. A pastor that I was actually part of a class while I was in jail. I've been emailing with him recently. Really like this guy. Great dude, and his type of character is the type of character that I would love to formulate my character after. But his character, however many years he's been on this earth, that's how long that character is taken to get to. And I already got a start, but it's not a good one, is it? So, got a lot of work ahead of me. This recovery thing needs to be taken serious. I always tell people love is free, or at least when it comes up. I don't tell everybody, walking around, hey, guess what? Love's free. Love's free, but it deserves time and respect. Recovery is free too. It deserves time, respect, and effort. Effort too. That was on that last one. Time, respect, and effort. Recovery deserves those three things as well. Um, a quote. You're not going to hear this one in the textbooks, but um, the second you realize the hand gripping your throat is coming from your own sleeve, you realize you're not slick, you're sick. I'm sick. At least I was. Takes work. And if you hide from all of it, it's not going to go good. If you don't take it serious, it's not going to go good. You gotta give recovery the time, respect, and effort it deserves. And you got to realize it's not just the drugs and alcohol that you're getting rid of. You got to get rid of those character defects. You got bad habits too. You know what I had to do? Two things I did to try to help myself with something that I had a bad habit of. I used to go into stores. I would steal something just to steal it. Isn't that stupid? One time I had a sweatshirt I wanted to exchange, $5 difference, but long ass line. I said, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not going in that line." I just switched it out, left the one that I bought there already, had the receipt, but left it there, took the other one. Didn't have one of those little thingies on it. And then my favorite chapstick, Bumblebee, Vanilla Bean. Yep, I did that on there. Um, took one. Didn't want to pay $4 for a chapstick. That's asinine. So I took one. But if that's a chapstick I want, I guess it's not too asinine. That night I went home. Something actually happened. The car I was in, my dumbass got spooked thinking that the cop was following us, and it wasn't following for me. But regardless, it gave me enough to think about it. I took a chance, just like I called myself out on those lies. And that's how I fixed the lying. I said, I got to call myself out on something. I got to stop stealing stuff from the store. So what I do, I went back to the first store where I bought the sweatshirt and exchanged it without going through the line and paying the $5 difference. Asked for a manager, and I told the manager what I did. Thankfully and luckily, he just asked for the difference. After I go get the sweatshirt that was the one I bought originally, and I obviously had the new one with me. And no, I didn't wear it because I thought that would have been kind of tacky. Did the exchange, and I paid the difference. Next, go to the place where I took the chapstick and let them know what had happened, what I did. But I was honest with them and let them know I'm in recovery. I'm trying to fix things. I'm truly sorry, and I don't want to be that person. In their case, I thought they were serious, but they said, all right, well, we're going to ring it up 10 times and you pay for it, and we're good. We won't call the cop. They only rang it up once, but they had me, man. Dead serious. Oh, I'm like, man, I didn't bring 10 times 10 chapstick money. I don't have that kind of. I don't have that kind of money. That's that P. Pablo money. I don't have it. They were joking. They rung it up once. I paid for it. And they told me best wishes in my recovery. As did the first store. They said best wishes in my recovery. The first store didn't say those exact words. I don't want to lie to you. But they did say that they wished good things in my future. And since then, stealing stuff from the store is not a thing. Um, I pay for what I have. I get really good deals, like $25 miter style. What? guess what? One thing you do good, good things happen. Every action has a reaction. Go figure. Craziest thought in the world. I'm just trying to live life on life's terms. I didn't write the terms, but I get to write out the actions. I hope something I said can help somebody. And I appreciate everybody that listens. Till next time, like I said, I'm going to try to do one tomorrow. I'm going to figure out a topic. Got a couple people I ask every once in a while, see what they want to hear. We'll see what happens. If you got any, ideas, shoot them my way. If I don't do it tomorrow, I probably will do it in the near future. Anybody in active addiction, we're here to help. We're waiting. We love you. We want to see you on this side. And this side is recovery. Until next time, thank you for listening in, and stay clean, America.